Hello and welcome everyone. So in the last class we have done the development of microbiology as a discipline. So we have seen the contributions of some scientists. We also saw the historical events that were happening. Now we also saw the spontaneous generation versus biogenesis debate that was going on, where the different scientists were trying to prove that biogenesis is the only cause of life in the universe. Abiogenesis cannot happen. So this was going on. So then finally we saw it was Louis Pasteur who actually showed with his swan neck experiment that how was this happening, and that microorganisms or any organism, living organism, can only grow when there is a previous organism or when there is a previous cell to divide. Otherwise it cannot grow all of a sudden from non-living matter. Still there were confusions, and finally it was John Tyndall who proved that the confusions is all because there were lots of organisms which can't be deleted or killed by normal heating. They have to do intermittent heating because there were endospores. Even now we know there are many heat resistant microorganisms too which can survive over long period of time even if it is heated for a long time. Not only the endospores, the microorganisms can also be heat resistant by itself. So this was what we did in the last class. Today we will try to see how fermentation came into the picture. Okay, so how this fermentation developed as a separate topic. Okay, so let's try to understand that. So initially fermentation. So what is fermentation? First of all, let's talk about that. Then we'll see what idea people had back then. Okay, so let's see. Fermentation talks about carbohydrates being broken down to different organic acids. For example, lactic acid. Okay, so different organic acids, or breaking down into alcohols, for example ethanol. So this is what is the meaning of fermentation. Now initially during the 1857, so before 1857 rather, people were very much convinced that it was a chemical process. This conversion is a chemical process. So initially they thought it was a chemical process. There was no biological material involved in this whole process. It was first of all again our Louis Pasteur that we have already studied before about him. We'll do a summary of all the scientists and their contributions at the end of this chapter, but first we'll just do the different events as it is going on. So now Louis Pasteur was the first person to say that it was fermentation is actually a process of biology. So it's a biological process. Biological process as in there are some microorganisms which are going to be involved in the process of fermentation. So rather it is a microbial activity. So he was the first person to prove it. He also did multiple fermentation experiments, and he found that in a particular fermentation experiment there are organisms which are growing even without oxygen. So the organisms which can grow without oxygen, he named them as anaerobic, and the organisms which required oxygen compulsory, they were named as aerobic by him. So that's how the aerobic and anaerobic organisms we came to know about. Now he also saw that in this fermentation we are growing microorganisms which are desirable. So along with the desirable microorganisms, he saw in the fermentation we have some undesirable organisms. For example, during our fermentation of wine, to produce wine, they found that there were some organisms which was producing lactic acid which was not supposed to be produced. Wine was supposed to be having only alcohol and not lactic acid. So when this was happening, so he kind of knew that there were some organisms which was not supposed to do what they are doing. So they are kind of undesirable. This lactic acid made the wine sour. So souring of wine happened. So along with the normal substances, we saw there are some organisms which were not wanted in the fermentation process. So what he did was he told about heating this substances, heating the substrates, whatever substrates, in this case if it is any fruit juice, anything that has to be on which the fermentation has to be done, he told about heating those substances, and he said that heating can kill those microorganisms, the unwanted microorganisms, or rather they can reduce the population of that, may not be killing the whole thing, but reduce the population of those unwanted microorganisms. So by this, if we reduce the microorganism population, then there will be less chances of spoilage of this or substances of this products that we are talking about. So later on, now we use this thing in all the fermentation process also, in all the fermentation industries. So this process came to be known as pasteurization, where we don't heat the substance at a very high temperature, but rather we heat it at moderate temperature, so that not all the microorganisms can get killed. It's only those microorganisms which are unwanted, they should be killed. So this was at moderate temperature, heating of certain substances at moderate temperature. Nowadays pasteurization is very widely used in milk. Okay, so it is now widely used in milk. So milk is heated by pasteurization, because if I heat the milk at a very high temperature, we have a chance of spoiling all the different nutrients that are there. The heat can destroy all those nutrients, all the proteins and fats. So what we can do is we can heat those substances at a moderate temperature, so that before it goes to the consumers, it can actually stay normal, it can stay micro free. So that's how pasteurization came into the picture, and this is all about the fermentation. So that's all. Thank you.